Hello everyone, I'm the Spookiest Ghost, and welcome back to my channel. So, if you watched last week's video, then you already know what this video is about. But if not, I highly suggest you watch that video first. I'll put it in the suggested right up there in the upper right hand corner, but I will also give you a quick summary. November is Epilepsy Awareness Month, and as somebody who has epilepsy myself, I feel as though I need to use my platform to help educate people about this chronic illness that I and so many other people deal with on a daily basis. That's why I'm doing this 3-part series. So, for part 2 of this series, I will be giving you a story time. Don't worry, I'm not becoming Tana Monho. I know, amazing topical joke, right? Because my life isn't interesting enough for that. Although, let's be real, their lives probably aren't that interesting either, and they're just making crazy shit up for the views. But either way, it's entertaining, so no tea, no shade. Anyway, today I'll be talking about my personal experience with epilepsy. I'll be talking about when I had my first seizure, the worst seizures I've had, and the worst experiences I've had with uneducated assholes.
Hello, Future Spooks here. So at the time of recording that video, I told 3 stories, but when I was editing it, I realized that it was way too fucking long, so I have to split this video into parts as well. Jesus fucking Christ, oh my god. Anyway, I hope that's okay with you guys. I'm sorry. Yeah. So, enjoy the video.
As well as sharing information about my epilepsy, meaning what kind of seizures I have and how they affect me. So, before I begin, you might be wondering, Spooks, why the fuck do you sound like that? You sound really sick. And that's because I am really sick. I am so fucking tired. I'm really tired. And basically, I went to my doctor today, and she told me
I got bronchitis.
That's fun. Anyway, so it's because of the fact that I'm sick and tired that I don't have a script for this video. I'm going to try and tell these stories off the top of my head with no script because I tried to write a script and I couldn't pay attention, I couldn't concentrate. Hopefully it goes well. Let's get into the video. So, story number 1 is going to be about the worst experience I've ever had with uneducated people. And I think by far the worst part of this story is that the uneducated people were not only adults, but they were staff at my middle school. So that's nice. But basically, before I can even start telling you the story, I need to give you some background. There was some stuff that happened when I was in 7th grade, and it was really bad, and it caused me to develop an anxiety disorder. Like, I was going to therapy, and I was going to a psychiatrist, and I was taking medication. Actually, that's why I was prescribed Lamictal, is initially for the anxiety disorder. You know, I had this anxiety disorder and it wasn't going away. So we all kind of thought that maybe it's just the school, and if I transfer, it's not going to be as bad. So I transferred to a different school. Basically, everything was fine for like the first 2 months. And then after that, I don't know what happened, but I just started skipping school.
Damn, it feels good to be a gangster. A real gangster ass nigga plays his cards right.
And it's not because I didn't feel like going to school. It's not because I was too lazy to go to school. It was because I would just start having like these anxiety attacks where I would think about going into school, and I would think about being surrounded by all of these people, and I would start freaking out, and I'm like, I can't go in there. The way I usually describe it is there's almost like a force field around the school where there's just this invisible force pushing me away and like keeping me from going to school. And this is a problem I had for a long time that I want to talk about later on, but for the story to make sense, it's important to know that. So I start skipping school. Of course, when you don't show up to school for a long period of time, the school is obligated to call the parent and find out what's going on. So they spoke to my mom, and my mom explained to them the situation about the anxiety. They had the number of my therapist, they had the number of my psychiatrist, they had the number of my neurologist, and and they were aware that I had epilepsy as well as this anxiety disorder. So they basically told my mom that if you don't send your daughter to school, like if you don't force her to go to school, we're gonna have to call child services. And they said that if you send her, we're not gonna call. So of course, I pushed myself to go back to school because I love my mom and I don't want Child Protective Services called on her. They called Child Protective Services anyway. They didn't find anything though because my mom has never abused me. But I understand. I understand that it's protocol. If any teachers are watching this, I'm not trying to say that they're bad people for doing that because that's not the point of the story. This is just important to mention because this is like the buildup. So fast forward, one day I'm in school, so I'm just chilling in class, and this class that I had, it was like there was a main teacher and then another like assistant in there. So she answers the phone and she tells me, oh, the dean wants you in his office. And let me just give you a visual of the dean of this school. First of all, he had the dumbest fucking haircut I've ever seen in my life. Like, I'm gonna try to find it. I'm gonna put it up here. But if I can't find it, he had black hair and it was short, but he had bangs. Need I say more? He had fucking bangs. What the fuck? That's number one. And number two, this man was at least 35. At least. And every single day, he wore a skin-tight shirt and skinny jeans to school, where he takes care of kindergarteners to 8th graders.
Motherfucker, what?
Basically, he looks like a fucking idiot. No adult should dress the way that he dressed. I don't know why he dressed like that. But anyway, this motherfucker calls me into his office, and I have always been like a teacher's pet. I hate getting in trouble, especially like by adults. I hate getting yelled at. Always the student that the teacher liked because I always wanted to be the best student academically, and also just I wanted to be polite to the teacher and I wanted the teacher to like me. Basically, the entire time I went to school, I was a good kid when it came to the way I acted in class. So I get called into the dean's office, and I go in and I sit down, and for the next 15 minutes approximately, he proceeds to fucking berate me. A 35-year-old man is insulting and basically bullying a 13-year-old girl. And let me explain why. He didn't call me into his office because I did something wrong. He called me into his office to tell me that he knew that I was lying about my anxiety disorder and that I was just too stupid and lazy to come to school. And he continuously said that you're making it up. I don't feel any sympathy for you. You're a liar. You're just lazy. Just admit that you don't want to go to school. Basically that kind of shit. And he just kept saying it over and over again. Now, I'm a very sensitive person, especially when it comes to being yelled at. And I started fucking bawling. I was sobbing. I was like, please stop. Like, I'm sobbing, bawling my eyes out in front of this man, to first of all begging him to stop making false accusations, and secondly begging him to let me call my mom, because I'm like, let me call my mom. I want to go home. Nothing that you're saying is true. I'm not lying. And keep in mind, I mentioned that he had the phone number of my therapist and my psychiatrist. Like, why would I be seeing a therapist and a psychiatrist if I didn't have an anxiety disorder? What the fuck? So this exchange basically goes on for about 15 minutes, as I mentioned, and eventually I got so sick of his shit that I just got up and left. And I would never do that. I was not the type of kid to get up and just leave the classroom or leave a room without a teacher's permission. So for me to just get up out of the dean's office, it's a huge deal because I would never do that. But it got to the point where I was done. I wasn't gonna sit there and just let this asshole continue to make false allegations towards me and continue to insult me to my face, because he doesn't understand what anxiety is and what anxiety does to you. So I'm still sobbing, and I run downstairs and I run into the nurse's office, and I really trusted the nurse. I thought that she was really nice. I really liked her, and I basically basically ran into her office and I was begging her. I was like, let me please call my mom. And the next thing I know, I wake up in a chair with EMT looking into my eyes with like a flashlight. So my seizures are mainly triggered by stress. So when I'm in a very stressful situation, like that one, it is possible that I will have a seizure, which is why I try to avoid stress as much as possible. So I wake up, EMT are looking at me, they take me to the hospital, whatever. I'm there for a little bit of time. I did a CAT scan, I think, whatever, and then I went home. So you might be wondering, well, okay, yeah, he berated you for the anxiety thing, but what does that have to do with epilepsy? Well, I didn't know this at the time, but a few years later, my mom told me that apparently they accused me of faking a seizure. So not only did they falsely accuse a 13-year-old girl of pretending to have anxiety, despite the fact that they had spoken to both my therapist and my psychiatrist, but they also accused me of faking a seizure after their staff bullied me for 15 minutes to save his ass. So they told my mom that I faked a seizure. And they also told the hospital that I faked a seizure. When they called 911, they told them that they have a student who faked a seizure. Which to me is like, why the fuck would you even call the hospital in the first place if you think I faked a seizure? You wanna know what their reasoning was for that? You wanna know why they thought that I faked a seizure? Because when I fell, I didn't fall on their filing cabinet and I wasn't foaming at the mouth. Now let me just explain some things to you. And first of all, this accusation was made by the nurse at the school. Remember when I said I trusted her? Remember when I said that I thought that she was really nice? Yeah. No, not anymore. And listen, I understand that a school nurse doesn't have to know everything about epilepsy. But if you have a degree in the field of medicine, because I assume that you need that to be able to work as a school nurse, how do you not, at the very least, know that not everybody foams at the mouth when they have a seizure? Because here's something that people should know. Yeah, in like movies and stuff, you'll see a lot of people foaming at the mouth when they have a seizure. Like in Pulp Fiction, there was that one scene where Uma Thurman's character had a seizure and she starts foaming at the mouth because she overdosed. And stuff like that. And yes, there are people that foam at the mouth when they have a seizure, like my mom, but not everybody foams at the mouth when they have a seizure. There are different things that can happen, and different things happen to different people. It's not fair to accuse somebody of faking a seizure simply because their seizure didn't look the way it looks in movies, because movies aren't fucking real. They're not real. And it's not that hard to find out that you don't have to foam at the mouth for it to be a real seizure. Because when I have a seizure, I never foam at the mouth. I bite my tongue. I bite the right side of my tongue, and according to my mom, saliva will like drip out of my mouth, but it's not foam. It's not fair to accuse me of such a huge thing, because it's not just a tiny little thing. They accused me of faking 2 illnesses for pity. No, I didn't fucking do that. And I'm disgusted that they would even think that I did that, because I did actually have a seizure that day. So what I was saying about different things happen to different people when they have a seizure, some people foam at the mouth, some people bite their tongue, there are people that urinate themselves, there are people that have nothing happen to them. They just start convulsing and there's nothing else. There are some people, I can only imagine, that have all 3 of those things happen. There's a shit ton of things that can happen when you have a seizure, not just foaming at the mouth. Whether or not you're foaming at the mouth, that does not determine if you actually had a seizure or not. That's number 1. Number 2, I think what a lot of people don't know is that a seizure doesn't start when the person is convulsing. A lot of the comments I saw on my last video were from people talking about seeing their loved ones have seizures, and a lot of them described it as my friend or my sister or my grandma or my mom or whatever. A lot of them described it as the person being fine one minute and then all of a sudden just stopping dead in their tracks. Their eyes widen and they just stare off into space or whatever, and then they fall and whatever. And that is when the seizure starts, is when their eyes widen and they stop what they're doing. That's when the seizure starts. So when my seizure started, I think that I was standing and I started walking towards the filing cabinet that the nurse had in her office. And I fell and I just missed it. I just missed the filing cabinet. And it was because of that and the fact that I didn't foam at the mouth that they believed that I was faking a seizure so that I could get out of school. And remember, they told the hospital that I faked a seizure. So of course my mom rushes to the hospital. Even though they told her that I faked a seizure, she's still my mom. So she gets there and she immediately sees that I did not fake a seizure, because this is not how it is for everybody. But for me, once I have a seizure, I can't do anything for the rest of the day. I'm done. I feel extremely nauseous. I have a terrible, terrible migraine. I mean, every time, other than the first time I had a seizure, every time that I've woken up from a seizure, I've had a headache that felt as though somebody was hitting my fucking skull with a hammer. Like, that's how bad my head hurts. And 9 times out of 10, I usually throw up at least once. So when she shows up at the hospital, she sees me and she immediately knows that I didn't fake it because I feel sick, because she can see that I'm sick. First of all, she can see that I'm paler. And then you can also see, I mean, you can see when somebody feels extremely sick. You know? So she knew that I wasn't faking it. And because my mom has epilepsy and she knows what it looks like, she told, you know, the doctor that was at the hospital, she didn't fake it. She actually had a seizure. And luckily he believed my mom over the school because my mom has epilepsy. So, you know, probably knows more than these fucking assholes. After that, I applied for homeschooling and I got it almost immediately. And my mom thinks that it's because they were afraid that she was gonna sue them because they falsely accused me of faking 2 illnesses for pity. And like, if the dean of the school is watching this, fuck you. I fucking hope he watches this. You're an asshole. I don't remember his name. Because if I remembered his name, I would tell you. But luckily for him, I don't remember his name. Also, this is just like an add-on about this like really shitty school. So even though I was homeschooled, I still had friends there. And I was really close friends with one boy that went to that school. And we were close friends for a while. We kind of drifted apart, but it was kind of like an organic thing where we just have different interests now. So no hard feelings, it's just whatever. We're not really friends anymore. But at the time, we were very close friends. And he asked me if I would come to the graduation because he wanted me to be there. And of course I said yes. I was like, yeah, I'll go to the graduation because I want to be there for my best friend, because he was my best friend at the time. I got a ticket. I went with his mom and his stepdad. You know, I watched the ceremony, whatever. And afterwards, I saw the assistant teacher that my class had, and she asked me if I would want to come back on the last day of school just to kind of spend a couple of hours there and just hang out with the class before we all move on to high school. And she was like, you know, I'll bring in like donuts and stuff and it'll be fun. So I said yes, because I was like, okay, it's only like an hour or two, you know. So I showed up and the principal of the school calls me into his office, and unfortunately that teacher got in trouble, and I feel bad about that, but at the same time it's not really my fault that she got in trouble because I didn't ask her, she asked me first. She brought up the offer. But also, not only did he tell me that I wasn't supposed to be in the school, he reprimanded me for going to my best friend's graduation. Like, I know I don't go to this school anymore, but if I bought a ticket, why the fuck can't I be at the graduation? Like, what's your problem, dude? Also, at the graduation, I should have mentioned this earlier, but I just remembered. At the graduation, I saw the dean, and this motherfucker smiled at me as though nothing ever happened. He gave me like that stupid fucking smirk, the one that's like, no one will ever know that I fucking accused you of faking a mental illness. But little did he know that a few years later, I would spill the fucking tea to 43,000 people. Okay, fuck you. I hope he watches this. That story gets me all riled up. Like, I don't understand. Can I just go on a mini rant right now? I don't understand how you can become a school nurse and not have any knowledge of epilepsy. Like, I understand that people don't talk about epilepsy that much, but it is not that uncommon, especially in children. It's not something that you rarely see. So you should have at least some sort of knowledge on it, like minimum. It doesn't have to be a lot because it's complicated. Like I said in my last video, epilepsy is very complicated. So I understand if you don't have, like, you know, you don't know everything about it. But there are some things that are really easy to remember and are really important to remember, like the fact that there are different kinds of seizures, like the fact that the seizure doesn't start when the person starts convulsing. It usually starts before that, when they stop dead in their tracks. Like the fact that not everybody foams at the mouth when they have a seizure. Just that alone is important to know, because if you know that different people have different things happen to them when they have a seizure, you wouldn't go around falsely accusing people of faking seizures because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And it also just shows how little these people care about their students, because personally, I think that if you have a student who has epilepsy, you're aware that they have epilepsy, you've spoken to their neurologist, you know they take medication. How hard is it to do the most minimal research? It's one student. How hard is it to go onto fucking WebMD and just read up a little bit on it so you can help the student in the event of emergency? To me, it just shows that they don't really care about their students that have a disability, and the fact that they accused me of faking a seizure shows me the lack of responsibility. The fact that they can't take responsibility for the actions of their staff, so they have to put it on me. They have to say that I faked a seizure because I wanted to get out of school, when in reality, their staff is the reason I had a seizure. Him bullying me, just straight up fucking harassing me for 15 minutes was what triggered my seizure. But they can't admit that. So instead, they're gonna accuse me of faking it. Like, just talking about this pisses me off, I'm sorry. But yeah, that school's fucking trash. It's the worst school I've ever been to. Cause you know what? Maybe my first middle school wasn't the greatest, but at least the staff actually cared about me. At least they tried to help somewhat. This school just didn't give a fuck. They just did not give any fucks. They couldn't care less. So yeah, fuck that school. So that's the story of the worst experience I've ever had. If you like this video, you can leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you would like more. You can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, or Tumblr if you would like to stay updated with my channel. And I also have a Discord, so if you would like to make some new friends or talk to me, you can go check that out. And I also have a Patreon if you would like to help support the channel, so you can check that out too. All of those links will be in the description below. Also, before I end the video, I just want to say thank you to all of the people that shared their stories in the comments of my last video, or of part 1 of this series. It means the world to me that you feel comfortable enough to share your stories, and I'm really glad that that video could help people, either by educating people that didn't know, or by just making other people with epilepsy feel less alone. I just want you guys to know that I'm here for you and I love you. So yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'm the Spookiest Ghost, and I'll see you guys next time.